Hi everyone, Al DeMarco along with Steve Budin. It's Monday night, and you know what that means, guys. We are here every single Monday throughout the football season to break down your Monday night matchups. Good game on tap tonight. Green Bay hosting Baltimore. Perhaps not as good and as exciting and as much anticipation as last week's game.
Unless you bet enough money on it.
Yes, as last week's game between New England and New Orleans, but it's certainly a bettable game. I take a look at this game, of course, every week from a handicapping perspective because that's what I've been doing for the past 25 years. Steve, as a former bookmaker and as the guy who gave birth to this offshore sportsbook industry.
It's like having triplets, I got to tell you.
Slightly more cynical viewpoint, as he always likes to say, taking a look at it from the other side of the fence, shall we say. Now, Green Bay, of course, has won 3 in a row, coming off another Thanksgiving Day rout, which they do every single Turkey Day against Detroit. Meanwhile, Baltimore needed overtime at home last Sunday night to escape with a field goal victory against a Steelers team that was playing without Ben Roethlisberger. Naturally, Green Bay playing at Lambeau, surprise, surprise, laying about a field goal because, heck, you think the odds makers were going to do anything else? Of course Green Bay is going to be laying a field goal here because of the home field advantage. Which way you leaning in this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a big betting game. Usually Monday, people are looking for a bailout. Green Bay had a big team meeting, players only, after the embarrassing loss to the Bucs, and now they've won 3 straight games since and covered the spread in 2 of them. Joe Flacco, he's lost the loving feeling. Last 4 games, 3 interceptions, only 1 touchdown pass in that stretch, and it's just not looking good for them.
You know, and for Green Bay during this 3-game winning streak, Aaron Rodgers, you pointed out that Joe Flacco has been struggling, but Aaron Rodgers in that 3-game winning streak, 71% completions, 871 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And it's not that his pass protection has been any better than it's been any other time this year because Packers have allowed Rodgers to have been sacked more times than any other quarterback in the NFL. But surprisingly, the Packers have been doing a good job defensively.
Well, they're in that new 3-4 set now. You know, so I think they're at like a plus 17 turnover margin, which is really good.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, surprisingly, which I think is going to shock a heck of a lot of guys out here listening to this, coming into this weekend's play, the Packers are actually #1 in the league, on paper at least, and they don't play the games on paper, statistically, defensively, because in terms of total yards allowed, they are #1, giving up just 281 yards a game. Now, the one that I care about is how many points allowed they give up, and that they're #12 in the league. They're giving up almost 20 points a game, but still, they have definitely shown a defensive improvement, as you said, since they went to that 3-4 set, and that's why they brought Dom Capers in, the former Carolina head coach, the longtime defensive coordinator in the NFL, to revamp this defense with all that young talent during the offseason. And Charles Woodson has just had one hell of a season back in the secondary. He might be the defensive MVP this year with the way that he's played this season for the Packers.
Yeah, when you turn over and look at the other side, the Baltimore defense, not really playing up to last year's success. You know, they're not making the tackles. They're a little banged up, getting weird penalties called on them all the time. I really don't like what I'm seeing from them. You know, that used to be their strong point. Not really anymore.
Well, you've had a lot of age taking its toll. Ray Lewis is not the player he once was. And really, I think you hit upon a key thing here. You know, Baltimore's defense, people think that this is the Baltimore defense of a few years ago. But that's reputation only. This is not the Baltimore defense of 2005. And believe me, that's built into the line. Yes, and as a former bookmaker, you know it, and you know
perception is everything.
Exactly, and the line makers take advantage of that, and they try to capitalize that because the public sometimes just isn't sharp enough to realize it. Guys, listen, we're going to break down this game a little further. I know where you and I are going to be watching this game tonight here at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, and what we want to tell you very quickly is, you know, there is a great opportunity for you guys out there to get a High Rollers weekend for free and join us at the Golden Nugget.
On the house. That's exactly correct. You go to our site, right in the top right-hand corner. There's a link that says free contest for the Golden Nugget. You enter it there, and every month we're going to pick one of you to come down. We're going to give you free transportation to and from the airport, VIP check-in, VIP seating for the Gordy Brown Show, and a High Roller suite that'll knock your socks off. And let me tell you, if you've never experienced downtown Las Vegas before, this is your chance to stay at the new Rush Tower, which is just like a strip hotel. It's got all the amenities, everything a strip hotel has, and more, because it's downtown with unparalleled action. You're one step away from the crap table, one step away from the blackjack table, one step in the pool, and one step away from going all over Fremont Street, checking lines, and doing the right thing.
And what an atmosphere. I mean, you talk about an electric electric atmosphere it was last Monday night with the Saints and the Patriots. Of course, we enjoyed it doubly so because we had New Orleans in that game, of course, thankfully.
Great mix of old school, old timers, and the young guys that are just discovering now a lot because of our show how awesome the Golden Nugget Sportsbook really is.
And the best thing about this contest, guys, it is free to enter and there is no purchase necessary. So as Steve said, just look at the top of our page, enter the contest, put your email address in there, your name and address, that's all they need, and it's free to enter. And guys, you could be rolling here with us, joining us perhaps at one of these Monday night games to come up, and we'll do Vegas the right way, the way it was meant to be done.
100%.
Now, back to this game tonight. You know, one other thing I think that has to be considered, I mentioned earlier that the Packers have the benefit of playing on Thanksgiving, and now you've got the extra time, the rest coming in here. One thing that might go against Baltimore here perhaps tonight is that they're coming off a physical game with the Steelers, you know, and they needed overtime to get by the Steelers in that contest as well.
Yeah, and as the season wears on and we start getting towards the playoffs, these extra days rest really, really help.
Yeah, but we have to go back then. You know, the flip side to that argument would be this is a Packers team that's only gone 3-7-1 against the spread their last 11 games at Lambeau. So much for having the home field advantage. This is a Packers team that even though you mentioned the Baltimore defense is not what it once was, they have not been able to protect Aaron Rodgers at all this year. I mean, this guy is constantly harassed. I mean, in that Tampa Bay game that you pointed out, the Buccaneers have no pass rush. I think they sacked Aaron Rodgers 6 times. I think me, you, and 9 other guys here in the studio can get to Aaron Rodgers.
It's like the Sackers, not the Packers.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. In terms of Monday night trends, you know, the road team has covered 5 of the last 7, and the underdog's on a 5-3 Monday night run. So instead, maybe the way to look at this is the total in this game. You know, we talked about the defense. Green Bay's defense is playing exceptionally well. Meanwhile, Baltimore's played 4 of its last 5 games under the total. They've only given up an average of 18.5 points their last 4 games. And the Baltimore defense on the season has given up just 17 points on average this year. I know the trend early in the year has been the over on Monday night action, but lately, not so. Last 4 Monday night games have stayed under. Even last week's game, suddenly, second half, by the 4th quarter, scoring stopped.
Well, thank God I've put this game in the hands of the Baltimore Crew, not the Baltimore Ravens, the Baltimore Crew, because they are my biggest and baddest crew. They won last Monday with their biggest play of the season. They're going to do the same again. But I got to tell you, personally, I look at this game, and I think both of these quarterbacks are going to come out firing. I think both of these defenses are a little off. So if I had to make a choice here, and I thank God I don't, but if I had to make a choice here, I go with the over.
And the number's right around 43.5. I'm going to differ with you here. I think it's going to be actually a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with the under in this particular contest.
We save money now. We can just save the VIG and forget the bookie. Better.
No, actually, I think we'll follow your Baltimore Crew. I mean, my God, 17-4 the past 3 years after cashing with the Saints.
Up over 600 times now. I mean, that's close to. I mean, that's a record.
17 out of 21. That's as damn close to perfection as you can possibly get. So you're going to go with the over. I'm going to go with the under in this one and look for a 5th straight under on Monday night. I just have a feeling that, you know, these 2 defenses are going to play up to potential and both offenses are going to struggle a little bit here tonight. Would I personally put my own money on the total? No way, guys. It's just a free pick, and I know you probably feel the exact same way. And it's darn hard. I mean, I would have thought last week would have been the surefire over, and you saw what happened. Patriots Saints, they were scoring like gangbusters 4th quarter. As we said, stopped scoring. Game stayed under. Who would have guessed?
Not me.
Okay, guys, that'll do it. And remember, every Sunday and Monday throughout the football season, we will be joining you here, breaking down the games from a point spread perspective. So we'll talk to you again next Sunday.